Snowflakes drifted softly over the glowing city, wrapping everything in a shimmering Christmas hush. Inside the warm cafe, filled with cinnamon scents and holiday music, Mia sat alone at a small corner table, hands trembling around her cup of cocoa, waiting for a man she had only met in messages. A Christmas blind date. A chance at something new. A tiny hope she had let herself believe in. She checked the time again. 10 minutes late. She tried to calm her breathing. Maybe he just got stuck in traffic. She smoothed her red sweater, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, and lifted her head when someone approached. A tall man in a gray coat stopped at her table. He didn't smile. "You're Mia," he said, his lips moving slowly enough for her to read. She nodded, relieved. She lifted her hands to sign her greeting, then spoke softly, "Hi. It's nice to meet you." But his expression tightened, like he'd just found something disappointing on a menu. "Oh. You really are deaf?" Mia froze. He sighed, looked around the cafe, then leaned closer. "Look, I'm sure you're nice, but this won't work. I don't want to spend Christmas struggling to talk." He lowered his voice even further. "You should have told me earlier." "I did," she said, voice shaking. "It was the first thing I mentioned." He stepped back, already pulling out his phone. "Yeah, I just thought maybe you exaggerated. Anyway, Merry Christmas. I'm leaving." He didn't wait for her reply. The bell on the cafe door jingled as he walked out into the snow without ever looking back. Mia sat perfectly still, the warmth draining from her fingers. A familiar ache pressed into her chest, not because she was deaf, but because people like him thought deafness meant less. Less worthy. Less lovable. Less human. She blinked fast, refusing to cry in public on Christmas Eve. Then something unexpected happened. Two little girls, around 6 years old, holding candy canes and wearing matching green scarves, were staring at her from across the cafe. Their father sat with them, tired, handsome, kind-eyed, but he was focused on stirring their hot chocolate. The girls whispered to each other, then looked back at Mia. Then one did something that made Mia gasp. She signed. Clumsily. But unmistakably. "Hi. You okay?" Mia's heart stopped. Slowly, she signed back, "Hello. I'm okay." The twins' faces lit up like Christmas lights. They jumped off their seats, ran to her table, and stood there shyly. One of them signed, awkward but brave, "Can we join you?" The other added with her voice, "We're learning sign language." Mia felt her throat tighten. She managed a nod. The father hurried over, apologizing. "I'm so sorry if they're bothering you. They're just excited because..." But he stopped mid-sentence when he saw the girls signing to her. "You know sign language?" he asked gently. Mia smiled. "I'm deaf," she said aloud. He softened, pulling out the chair across from her. "May we sit with you?" "Only if you want." She hesitated, then nodded. The girls slid into the seats beside her like they had known her forever. Their father introduced himself, Daniel. Single dad. Engineer. Exhausted but devoted entirely to the two little miracles beside him. He explained that the girls, Lily and Lucy, had a cousin who was deaf, so they had been learning to sign for the past few months. "We're not very good yet," Lily said with her hands. "We practice every day," Lucy added proudly. And just like that, a rejected blind date turned into the warmest table in the cafe. They talked. Signed. Laughed. The twins showed her their favorite signs: candy cane, snowman, reindeer. Mia taught them how to sign beautiful, which they immediately used to describe the cafe Christmas tree, and then Mia herself, making her blush. Daniel watched her with quiet admiration. At one point he signed clumsily, "Thank you for being kind. My girls really like you." She smiled, touched. "I like them too." But the moment wasn't just sweet, it was healing. For the first time in a long time, Mia didn't feel like she was the one who needed to adapt, apologize, or make others comfortable. She felt seen. Accepted. Included. As the evening passed, the cafe grew quieter. Snow thickened outside the windows. Christmas lights shimmered in soft reflections. The girls began drawing little snowmen on napkins, giggling. Daniel looked at Mia, his voice gentle. I overheard what happened before we came over. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. She shrugged lightly. I'm used to it. You shouldn't have to be, he said, sincerity shining in his eyes. They talked for another hour, about Christmas traditions, childhood memories, the girls' love for baking ginger cookies, Mia's hobby of painting winter landscapes, Daniel's juggling of work and fatherhood. Every word, every sign, felt like a step toward something neither of them expected that night. When it was time to leave, the twins hugged her. Come see the big Christmas tree with us tomorrow? Lily asked. Please. Lucy added with wide eyes. Daniel laughed softly. Girls, don't pressure her. But Mia smiled, warmth spreading through her chest. I'd like that. Daniel exhaled, relieved. Good. I was hoping you'd say yes. Outside, the snow sparkled under the streetlights. Daniel offered his arm, just to steady her on the icy sidewalk, and she took it. For a moment, the world was still, silent, but not empty. Quiet, but full of something tender and new. Mia glanced at Daniel and the girls, their breath forming little clouds in the cold air. And she realized something. Sometimes you lose what you thought you wanted, so you can find what your heart was waiting for all along. Christmas had a way of doing that. And as the twins signed goodnight, Miss Mia. From the back seat of their car, she signed back, smiling wider than she had in years. Good night. See you tomorrow. She watched them drive away, snow falling gently around her, and for the first time that night, her heart felt whole. The rejection that once bruised her spirit faded like a distant echo. Because the universe, in its quiet magic, had rewritten her Christmas story with two brave little girls, and the father who never once made her feel less. Just more. More valued. More seen. More loved than she ever expected on a Christmas night. The next morning, the city woke beneath a thick white blanket of snow. Children laughed in the streets, pulling sleds and throwing snowballs, while shop windows glowed with festive lights. It was Christmas Day, bright, hopeful, and shimmering with possibilities. Mia stood by her apartment window, wrapped in a soft scarf, watching the flakes fall like tiny gifts from the sky. She hadn't slept much, not because she was sad, but because her mind kept replaying last night. The twins' brave little hands signing. Daniel's warm smile across the table. The unexpected comfort she found with strangers who didn't feel like strangers at all. For the first time in years, she felt excited about the day ahead. Her phone buzzed. A video message from Daniel. She opened it. The video showed the twins jumping excitedly on their couch, with messy Christmas morning hair, matching pajamas, and smiles big enough to melt any snow. They signed together, slow but enthusiastic. Good morning, Mia. Merry Christmas. Don't forget. Christmas tree today. Then Lucy held up a plate of messy ginger cookies shaped like crooked reindeer. We made these for you, she said aloud. Daniel appeared behind them, laughing. Good morning. We'll pick you up at 2. Only if you're still okay with it. Mia smiled so wide her cheeks hurt. She signed back through her own video. Yes. I'd love that. A surprise at the door. At exactly 2 o'clock, the doorbell rang. When Mia opened the door, she saw Daniel and the twins standing there, each holding a small Christmas gift wrapped in colorful paper. Merry Christmas, the girls shouted. Daniel signed carefully, for you. Mia's heart swelled. She stepped aside and invited them in. The twins ran to her small Christmas tree and gasped. It's so pretty. So sparkly. They took turns giving her their presents. The first was a handmade bracelet from Lily. The second was a small drawing from Lucy, a picture of the 4 of them holding hands beside a giant Christmas tree. Daniel handed her the last gift, a soft, sky-blue pair of mittens. I noticed you didn't have any yesterday, he said gently. I thought you might need them today. Mia touched the soft fabric, her vision blurring for a moment. Thank you, she said, her voice soft. The twins exchanged a whisper. She's going to cry. No. Happy cry. Daniel chuckled. Ready for the Christmas tree? Mia nodded. Ready. The biggest tree in the city. The Christmas festival downtown was alive with music, lights, and laughter. Snowflakes sparkled like glitter in the glow of lanterns. Children rode the carousel. Couples held hands under mistletoe banners. The scent of roasted chestnuts filled the air. And at the very center stood the enormous Christmas tree, towering, glowing with thousands of lights, ornaments shimmering like stars. The twins gasped in unison. "It's bigger than our house. It's bigger than Daddy." Daniel sighed dramatically. "Everything is bigger than Daddy." Mia laughed, genuinely, freely. A sound she hadn't heard from herself in a long time. They walked closer, and Daniel paused to buy hot chocolate for everyone. He handed Mia hers and carefully signed. "Hot. Be careful." She nodded, amused. "Thank you." Lily tugged at Mia's sleeve. "Can you teach us more signs?" Mia knelt to their level. "Of course." She taught them signs like Christmas, snow, family, beautiful, and friend. The twins repeated them again and again, determined to get them right. Daniel watched with a soft expression, hands wrapped around his cup. He seemed peaceful. Like being there in that moment was exactly where he was meant to be. A difficult memory. As they sat on a bench near the tree, the snow falling around them, Daniel finally spoke about something he hadn't said last night. "My ex-wife, she left when the girls were 4. Mia's gaze softened. "She said it was too hard," he continued. "Too much responsibility. Too much noise. Too much pressure." The twins were playing nearby, making snow angels. Daniel sighed. "So it's just been us. And I realized something. Sometimes people leave not because you're hard to love, but because they're not ready to love enough." Mia felt a sharp sting in her chest, because she understood. People had left her too. Not because she was too difficult, but because they were too small. She signed gently, "You're a good father." Daniel smiled. "I try." He looked at her meaningfully. "You're good with them. Really good." A quiet warmth spread between them. An unexpected encounter. But the peaceful moment shattered when someone familiar walked into view. The man from last night. Her blind date. Laughing with another woman, holding 2 cups of coffee, completely unaware that Mia watched him. Mia froze. Daniel noticed. "Someone you know?" She nodded slowly. The man's gaze eventually drifted toward Mia, and he stopped mid-laugh. His eyes widened in surprise, then narrowed when he noticed Daniel and the twins beside her. He walked closer. "Mia. Wow, you actually came back here." Daniel moved slightly in front of her, protective without being aggressive. The man shrugged, looking her over. "Well, looks like you didn't stay lonely long after all." Mia's stomach tightened. Before she could speak, Lily stepped between them and signed. "Don't be mean." Lucy added, signing slowly but firmly. "She is amazing." The men blinked, confused, then scoffed. "Whatever. Good luck." He walked away. Mia exhaled shakily. Daniel touched her shoulder gently. "You don't have to explain anything. Not to him. Not to anyone." The twins hugged her legs. "Are you okay?" He was rude. Mia smiled weakly. "I'm okay now." The promise under the tree. As the crowd sang gentle Christmas carols, Daniel stood beside Mia, watching the lights dance across her face. "You know," he signed slowly, "I'm glad last night happened." She raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "Because it brought you to us." The twins came running back, holding 2 small peppermint candies. "One for you. And one for Daddy." Mia knelt down, her heart full. Lucy wrapped her arms around her neck. "Will you come with us again? Not just today. Always." Daniel nearly choked on air. "Girls." But Mia just smiled at them, the kind of smile that came from a place she hadn't visited in a long time. She signed. "I'd like to be part of your lives. If it's okay." The twins squealed. "Yay. Mia is family now." Daniel stared at her, soft, warm, thankful. "I'd like that too," he said quietly. Snow fell thicker, surrounding them like a silver curtain. Lights glowed brighter. The world felt small, soft, and beautifully whole. And under the giant Christmas tree, Mia made a silent promise to herself. This time, she wouldn't run from happiness. This time, she would choose the family who chose her first.